My mouth hurts greatly because I just got my braces redone. Ah, I got them tightened, so it hurts. But I did promise to continue doing the Great Ace Attorney, so we sort of gotta do that. Turn that off. Alright, I think last time we had to finish like very early because I had to get off, but we should be like right before the trial. Yeah. Hopefully I remember how to do the voices. Let's see. I think I just gave Ryunosuke my voice, right? I think I gave this dude like a deeper voice. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. What did I give him? I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand. Once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what would the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious direct discussions are about to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appeal? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyways. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over, and what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial would decide my destiny. 22nd November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. I'm pretty sure, like, back then, when this game takes place, right? If you get convicted of, like, of murder, you get executed, right? Because I'm not sure, like, I'm pretty sure this takes place in Japan, like, during the early 1900s, but during that time, right? Like, does Japan still have, was it capital punishment today, or did they get rid of it? Because like I back then they had to have give you capital punishment. Holy shit, his eyes. So this is a courtroom. That was Kazuma. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial. A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, I already like Kazuma. You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Damn, that's a fucking nice bite. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naohiro. Oh, is this supposed to be Winston Payne? Okay, that's actually kind of cool. This must be his ancestor. What's he sound like in the games? That the prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That is correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be cited 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confrontation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Okay, say yes, Mo. Say yes. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I am standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear. That got me, holy. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naohiro, will be defending myself. You'll be... what? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent that he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naohiro-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear? Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again? Uyenosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All of the relevant information for this court case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. Where is it? It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. If you ever find that you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose, okay. I can press it. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead of E. You'll find details about the victim here. When you're done, just press C to go back. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the People's section of the court record, then press R to present. Try now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship. You know what? I'm gonna search this up. Did this actually exist? Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship. So I'm getting different answers here. However, I can only guess that this is the friendship and navigation. So there's like 3 different treaties here. So we have the Treaty of the Anglo-Japanese Friendship Treaty in 1854, which was between Britain and the Tokugawa Shogunate. Then we have the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Amity and Commerce in 1858. And then we have the 1894 Treaty, which basically ended the unequal treaties. And then we have the Anglo-Japanese Alliance of 1902. So I'm guessing let's see. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilled. Okay, so this must either be the 1902 treaty or the 1894 treaty, because it was just signed. It says so. This most likely is the 1902 treaty. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education? Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to play for this crime. So that's why this trial has all these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. God damn. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. Is that him? I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed by evidence. By evidence? But how? I don't know, man. Court record? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Damn, you don't gotta yell, man. Was this post-mortem report? Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Yes! Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I assume. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws a conclusion that way. That is so poor. Holy. That way can be like totally inaccurate. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Okay, so then when were the photographs? That's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. When the photographs introduced to Japan. 1848. So then, how's this newly modern tech? Because it was introduced in 1848, and then it became commercial in 1862. If this takes place in 1902, then this game then is severely. Then we must be in a whole different time period. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Sophisticated ass Nick. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who happened to be there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly, you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Osoki must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, has he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would greatly be appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you raise in that crazy headband and control the cold sweats. How is his headband blowing with no end? Oh my, this nigga got the art of headband blowing on him. And who the fuck is this nigga? Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. It's like a calm and sophisticated dude, right? A calm and reasonable person. Of course, my name is Satoru Hisunaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Yo, dog, you looking a little bit like Terry Falls over here, bro. I think you need to wipe that off. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It is a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. I think you're dying. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southern-eastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood, Hasanaka-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, aspiring, maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in the question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Oh, hold on. Let me clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found. Oh my goodness. While I did pick up a gun that I found laying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. That's why your hairline's receding, my nigga. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Inosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, you must quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, Waito. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Dude, get your coughing under control, man. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around at that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Inosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite to him at his table. Really? And that's not something the Waito could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Interject.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting by him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. He never claimed to be a lawyer, so why would he be a fraud? Could it be that the accused, this male student, is not a real lawyer after all? Duh. But I'm sure of what I saw. Hasanagi-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you need to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's a sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was sitting alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious lawyer. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected up until now. Something clearly must have shaken him. Yo, dog, we need to get this dude out the court into a doctor room. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some reprieve in the terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, obviously I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at the stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to now throw that trust back in my face. Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I wish to be. Oh, so scary. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupation for the court. Oh, you said Army Sergeant. Yes, sir. No, that's not right. That's not right. That's too young. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Isaiah Noza, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employed of the purveyor of fine articles and antiquity from the effluences of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Wasute, a humble premise in the 2nd District, Kuio Kolkata, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma, and the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curious with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he's a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy weights were seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniform rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm. So was that a baby noise? This man's impossible to understand as the other. But if I'm almost sure I've heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this decisive evidence was the prosecution. This decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. What's up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel rather uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. An unsavory memory of the most acerbic afternoon. I have to get more water. I was investigating a regulation beef at this old restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling in the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nossa, actually witnessed the vital moment? You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, where English gentlemen may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw laying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and started drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor might have dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witness testimonies, there's a clue to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine. Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is obviously clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Deal me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it? How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Hey, buddy, stop the glaze. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of providing it, and the key to doing that is the evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive, indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I think I caught the lie when the testimony was happening. So I think first thing I'm gonna do is just go off on a hinge and present the photo. Cause he said he shot him in the back, right? And the photo has him shot from the front. So I'm gonna present the photo and see if that's like just an offhead thing. All right then, it's all or nothing. But let's go ahead and do these. Okay. Press is Q.
Yes!
Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention, anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beef steak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Beef steak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on the cast iron grill and served popping hot. If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal, tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it. Yes, sir. I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops. Sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative. Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Just got an achievement.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban, boy. A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoet period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with the said item secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hopes of an affluent cognoscent appraised of its indisputable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin? To Sergeant Nosa, who I presume whom you met at the restaurant? Yes, yes. It is quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier will have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet. You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination. No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about the matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative. I saw you. Laughing, crackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. Weak death slam. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so if it was, well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't, in fact, see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Arg! And double arg! My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of the murderous energy waiting from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I have got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good.
Yes!
So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was... I heard just about enough of your SARS, cadet. Who else do you see here in black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man. From behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. Yo, hold on. Where's the screenshot image? That is pristine live reaction right there. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it into the witness's face and make him choke on it. Pause.
Yes!
On your hands and knees. Could you explain that, please? That's right. Spurning the arthritis I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? The koban, of course. The exquisite Hoa-era koban corn. I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. the Koban vanished. Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than, though it was no concern of mine, I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred? Indeed, myself, I did not. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We all know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like what I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving a testimony. Go through each witness's statement and the details about it. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you'll doubt too many, the defense's case falls apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Pursue the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statements over and over again as many times as you like. So, keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Okay, so... I said eat him. Yeah, he shot from the front. Wait, which one? But, cause it's like... I guess it's the post-mortem, cause... Okay.
Yes!
What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting wads of paper into my mustache? And an inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma? What? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the post-mortem report presented by the defense that there is a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Isai Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, like the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. Why not, cadet? Because As clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. Okay, so I could have chosen either. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it back down again. Certainly, there was a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharged, my eyes were firmly fixated on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Issa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Tiag! Another achievement. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So, this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Oh my, he said the thing, guys! He said the thing! He said the name of the game! But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was too busy on the floor. On the floor, yes, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prized Hoa-era Koban. Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was only concerned with finding my abscond Hoa treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoa Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone in the present is currently aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the victim's testimony, the witness's testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how servant our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statement, it will become abundantly clear that there was only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You would thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko's glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Ado. It seems those straps are a sign of the sergeants being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, attention! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. The true culprit. Hold on. I'm gonna go get water real quick, cause my face, not face, my throat is starting to hurt. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some water. This thing is hurt. Okay. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. It is not the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was. That young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premise at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the crime scene, counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there was only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The counsel will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Carbonated water, steak lunch. Steak lunch? I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that anybody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we have just heard leaves no room for further doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takasushi Auchi, would have contributed to the amenity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Oh, forgot to take this off. What? If what you say is true, then there is something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. Oh shit. How do I go back? Okay, so maybe.
Yes!
No. It's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. But I mean, that's not exactly how it works. Blinking and holding and seeing someone shoot a gun are two different things. So there you have it. Have what? Attention! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? So he inferred that Ryunosuke had the gun. And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Koekuta-san?
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant. I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And exactly at that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Is this nigga Yoda? Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, where the hell did you get that? I failed to pick up a Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally tested predicament as well. Anyways, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with a pistol in hand, standing over the form.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there'd be more people there dining at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened, the quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there indeed was a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at the clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Harder Clinic. Yes, that would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder, what do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Sure. I mean, it's best to get all the evidence.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence will be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are concerned is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days forever asserting their rights. It is the most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Harder Clinic. Who else was named Harder in this series? Is that one clinic doctor? We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies have left no room for a doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korikuta-san.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone? That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support those statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there was only a single beef steak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who all testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore,
Yes!
Why aren't you telling us the truth? What? What did you just say, Cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We gleaned some new information. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little bit more detail. How exactly? You notice that some pieces of evidence have a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press space and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the 4 keys. To rotate the evidence in all directions, examine it from all different angles. By using... Okay. Can I not just click and drag it just to see? Also, pulsates. Press space to investigate further. Okay. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Alright, I can just drag it. It looks like this medical report card was first issued some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. But I can't imagine going to a doctor. I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? How would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. Then they demand lots of money for you for privilege. All while you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient, with a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is the very bitter medicine indeed. It says Harder Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught one of the only colds I ever had in my life. I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyways, I don't think this is the clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Just keep looking for clues. You don't want to miss anything. See? This. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with tropical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything like it that can actually stop you from feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthesia effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. This new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time to listen to the testimony again. Okay, what could that have changed? It has to be this statement, right? It has to be this statement because it says he was dining. And if you're dining, usually that means you're eating, right? Okay, I'm going with my gut. Let's just see this one. Alright, I'm going with my gut. Oh, that new dialogue? The crucial point is, the victim had been prohibited from consuming anything but water when he was shot. The fact has not been brought to the court's attention. He's right. Thinking about Dr. Wilson's circumstances at the time of the incident, that puts that particular statement in a totally different light. Always keep your eye on the progression of the battle. That's the only way sure to win. So, so it must be that statement. Here we go.
Yes!
Well, I think, about what are you withering, lad? You call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out, when you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You knew exactly what you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Koikuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. See, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, but what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the court in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial any further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have all been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else beside this pale-faced pupil who could have possibly... This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really think that? What? That outburst have petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hara Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? What is that supposed to mean to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth removed, had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Koikuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that simply cannot be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just one of his teeth extracted, and he was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have time. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So, just having undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, yes, that means me, doesn't it? Alright. The answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the two witnesses, and as yet unknown party. The woman, right? He just mentioned. Obviously, it could only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You would not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through with a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have an issue with them, the two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously, you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Turning point. Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's why, as the man says, just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kowakuda-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. Ugh. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pal? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind all this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wait. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aoji had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could be the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who may be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god, I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all of this, well, Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary efforts to manipulate the witnesses is... Well, it can't be Koyo Kokuta. See, he's just a salesman, right? An army sergeant? The head waiter. So okay, so it's not him. It's not Mikotoba or Kazuma. It's not him, so it's one of these three. Could it be the waiter? I mean, it could be the waiter. Because he actually worked at the restaurant, right? So
Yes!
well, surely that would be Saratoga Honasaga-san. Hasanaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock. What possible reason could the waiter have to make to give these witnesses false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not have possibly have that level of influence. For one, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hogonasa's real identity, as proven by this evidence. Oh, the card, right? Yeah, cause only really the waiter, not only like what the owner or the head person would have a card like this, right? Where he can take a look. Yeah, to where he can know where everything is at. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the instant. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly, and that's not all. Look here on the upper left where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study hard over here, Nosuke. Okay.
Yes!
I'm not sure what this is supposed to prove, Counsel. I think, Your Excellency, that's what this proves is not the true nature of the whale, but the true nature of the accused. Sorry? A blackguard who was stooped to presenting irrelevant evidence to incriminate an innocent man. That is the true nature of this wiki. Ah. Okay, I guess that wasn't right. Try again. Go over all the evidence as we have one more time. Okay, so I guess if it's not that... Stick closer. Okay, so if it's not the business card... Do I even have the evidence? Hasanagi-san's real identity. So if it isn't the business card, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, well, I'm not exactly sure. Nothing here could really prove it. Okay, I'm going with my gut here.
Yes!
Oh.
Yes!
Okay, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save right here. Okay, so we went through these three. And a few options. Let's save. Then post-mortem. But there's nothing there. Oh, I haven't turned the business card around. I'm a fucking idiot. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector, what on earth? I have no idea. Let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here, three lies for nothing. And I was right at first. I just had the wrong idea. Okay. Oh.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure where we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's on the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes. It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective. I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, the witnesses here, there in the stand? Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was he the one who told you not to mention that you have seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility. Oh, that's why you were so nervous. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was a unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant worker? Of course. Your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? First thing he went to was the salary. Yes, there has been many series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a worker, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I went out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the very same table was a young lady who I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest to not pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishwoman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect? Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. Many dots, many dots. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly concerned that one of them, studying in the medical facilities research laboratory, is a very young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical facility. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have just now discovered that this premise is false. It would be a discreditation of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government would surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceeding of my courtroom. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with utmost agency. At once, Your Honor, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the Police Bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. Court will be adjourned briefly. The prosecution must call the English student, Giselle Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued. And what also is going to be continued? The stream tomorrow. Save the current progress. I can't. Oh, so I gotta do this. I just saved, so it's fine. Yeah, I just upset it again. Alright, and just like that, this like 2-hour-long stream will continue back tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, if I don't forget to do this. So yeah, thank you all for joining in who did, and I will speak to y'all next time. Peace, man.